Hello everyone, I'm Mike James, your County Manager. Welcome to this 34th edition of our show. Here's a recap of the latest County Commission meeting as well as some other events going on in the county. The Board of Commissioners met in regular session on Monday, January 7th at 6:30 p.m. First on the agenda was the Chamber of Commerce Spotlight business, Blue Ridge Grill. They are a brand new chamber member and have been in business for about a year and a half now. They will also be opening the adjoining backroom bar this weekend. Blue Ridge Grill is located in the same building as the bowling alley. They recently had a New Year's morning pancake party from midnight to 3 a.m. I hate I missed that because I love pancakes. We have so many new and excellent restaurants here in Alleghany County. In fact, we may have to modify our authentically Alleghany slogan to appetizingly Alleghany or something like that. Next up was Jennifer Green and Elizabeth Curley from App Health, our district health department. Over the last couple of years, we have heard so many different ways that the ongoing opioid and drug crisis is affecting the county budget and our citizens. Just last meeting, we had to make a large budget amendment because the number of female detainees in our jail has increased so substantially. This also has a side effect of increasing the number of children in county foster care. That number has almost tripled in the last couple of years. The opioid issue has many tentacles and there's no easy solution to resolve the situation. However, to help address part of the problem, App Health has implemented substance abuse and mental health counseling to their available services. They have also obtained a grant to embed a peer support specialist in the sheriff's office to work with jail detainees with addiction issues. A big part of the project will involve gathering data to help us better identify the problem. The peer support specialist will also work with detainees and their families to help them attempt to deal with their addiction issues. App Health is also working on the availability of Narcan or naloxone, the life-saving overdose reversal drug. Now, our law enforcement officers and our paramedics in the EMS department carry Narcan now. We're also working to make it available to our volunteer first responders as well. I commend the health department and our sheriff for being proactive in this area. One thing we have proven throughout the region and the nation the last few years is that doing nothing and being in denial is not a solution to the opioid problem. Captain Nick Hawks then presented to the commissioners the opportunity to apply for an approximately $120,000 grant to fund 2 new full-time, non-sworn victims advocates. These folks would work with the victims of crimes of all types to help them through the difficult and stressful situations that arise when you are the victim of a crime. Now, our sheriff's investigators do a great job of catching the bad guys, but due to budget and staffing constraints, we cannot always provide the amount of emotional support that a crime victim may need. Now, these new victims advocates will help with that. The grant requires no county matching funds. Those are the best kinds of grants. Next up was a secondary road right-of-way agreement between the county and DOT. Back in June of 2017, we held a public hearing to gather input on the possible closing of the intersection of Highway 18 and Osborne Road and the possible addition of Health Services Road into the DOT system. Now, DOT engineers have been studying the project since then and have now prepared their final engineering drawings and are ready to proceed with the construction. However, instead of completely closing the intersection of Highway 18 and Osborne Road, they will be installing a traffic island and a no left turn sign. So traffic will still be able to turn right from 18 onto Osborne Road to access the transfer station or for any other reason. And traffic will also be able to turn right from Osborne back onto 18 heading south. Left turns from Osborne onto 18 will no longer be permitted. We all know there's basically zero visibility coming over that hill. Anyone leaving the transfer station will proceed down Health Services Road, past the Health Department and the Alleghany Group homes, and turn left onto Highway 18 there. Now, trucks leaving the transfer station are by and large already utilizing Health Services Road, but DOT's absorbing it into the state system takes the responsibility for the maintenance of the road off the county. That will help us locally. Now, we're not trying to make anyone's life more difficult with this project. We are merely trying to make everyone's trips to the transfer station safer and more convenient. You've heard me talk a lot about transfer station improvements over the last year or so. We still have more good things to come out there, but this is an important step. Our friends at DOT estimate late summer for completion of this project. The only item on the consent agenda this time was a $950 budget amendment to purchase copies of the new building code books. The new building code took effect on January 1st. Also included in the board packet was our annual funding notification from the State 911 Board. Now, all of us pay a 911 tax on our cell phone bills and our home phone bills. Part of that tax money is made available to the county to use for 911 related expenses. Our share for next year will increase almost 10% to $159,000 and some change. Now, unfortunately, this is not a blank check. Only certain expenses are deemed to be qualified 911 expenses. Here's an example. We recently completed about a $330,000 project to install communications equipment on 2 new towers and upgrade the 2 previous towers. Now, if we had borrowed that money from the bank, the loan payments would not be qualified 911 money expenses. But since we are leasing the equipment, the lease payments are qualified expenses. Wendy Williams, our E911 mapping coordinator, has the unenviable task of completing all these reports, submitting those expenses to the 911 board each year, and negotiating their payment for us. The whole process gives me a headache sometimes. We recently awarded 2 contracts to regional vendors. Blue Ridge Energy was once again awarded the propane contract. Their bid was significantly below the other bidder. Blue Ridge is a great partner, and they have been our propane vendor for the last several years. We also awarded the contract for the new ambulance to Northwest Emergency Vehicles of West Jefferson, and the box, which that's the back part of the ambulance where the patient care is provided, that will be built by American Emergency Vehicles of Jefferson. AEV has a large factory with over 300 employees and is just down the road from Jefferson Landing. I know many Alleghany County residents from the Laurel Springs and Piney Creek regions are employed there. We budgeted $155,000 for the new ambulance, and the winning bid came in at just over $154,000, so it was right on budget. Great job by EMS Director Linda Edwards on her budget estimate. Please check the events calendar at authenticallyalleghany.com for all of our upcoming events. There are tons of live music events coming up just about every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. Finally today, I want to assure you, our citizens and taxpayers, that despite all the noise from Washington and the federal government shutdown, that your local county government is fully operational. We are working hard to serve you every day. Whether you need to sign up your child for sports with the Recreation Office, get a copy of your birth certificate from the Register of Deeds, or you need our soil and water team to help you develop a manure management plan for your farm, whatever, we are here to serve you. The next County Commission meeting is Tuesday, January 22nd at 10 o'clock, as Monday the 21st is Martin Luther King Day, and county offices will be closed. That is our last holiday for a few months. Darn. At this meeting on the 22nd, we will be honoring many of our local vendors. The county government has been emphasizing buying locally for the last couple of years. In calendar 2018, we spent over $630,000 with 84 local vendors. We will be recognizing our top vendors at this meeting, among other things. On a related note, through 5 months of the fiscal year, we are on pace to exceed last year's local sales tax collection by over $100,000. That would mean an additional $10 million in retail sales here in the county compared to the previous year. Thanks to all of you for helping us support our local restaurants, retailers, and other vendors. You know, some people long for a return to the quote, good old days, when you could buy everything your family needed right on Main Street in any town in the country. I'm not sure if that will ever happen again, but it is very important to support the retailers and businesses we do have. You know, I feel the restaurants here are far superior to Independence, Galax, West Jefferson, or any other place within 50 miles. To quote the Billy Joel song, the good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems. In addition to our regular meeting schedule, the Commissioners will have a 2-day planning retreat on the 29th and 30th at the Blue Ridge Business Development Center conference room. Now, this is a public meeting, and minutes will be recorded, but the change of venue allows for a little more informality. The Commissioners will be discussing potential projects for the rest of the 2-year board term. Now, if you are really bored, you can attend the meeting as it will be open to the public, but you better bring some heavy doses of caffeine. I hope to see you all there at these upcoming events. Have a great day.